Okay, so now we're on the fourth spirit of the Goetia, Gamigin. Now, if you are watching for the first time, what I'm doing here is just working my way through all 72 spirits of the Goetia. So let's start by looking at some of the correspondence for Gamigin. So the dates would be the summer solstice, the 22nd to the 26th of June. The alternative dates would be the 21st to the 26th, I believe, of April. Again, you can always move outside those dates, but those are the sort of strongest dates to work with the spirit. The alternative name of the spirit is Samigina or Samigina, and that is predominantly the first name that's used in the Ars Goetia itself, but we've kind of switched it now and we use the name that I'm using now. The colour association with this spirit is either violet or purple. You could use black or orange, but I would recommend purple or violet. He has the rank of Marquis, and the herbs that you would use is Storax. In terms of planetary alignment, that would be with the moon, and the incense that I would recommend using would be jasmine. Gamigin is elementally a water spirit. There is a fire element there as well, but predominantly a water spirit. The tarot correspondence would be the Five of Pentacles. The zodiac correspondence is Taurus, and in terms of direction, I would recommend north, even though Gamigin is water-based, and that's traditionally west. From my experience, I would recommend north. And the N for Gamigin, the N or chant, if you want to call it that, is Esther Ta et Tassa Gamigin. Now let's look at the Ars Goetia itself and see what is written about this spirit. So here we go. Samigina or Gamigin. The fourth spirit is Gamigin, a great Marquis. He appeareth in the form of a little horse or ass, and then into human shape doth he change himself at the request of the master. He speaketh with a hoarse voice. He ruleth over 30 legions of inferiors. He teaches all liberal sciences, and giveth account of dead souls that died in sin. And his seal is this, which is to be worn before the magician when he is invocator, etc. Very strangely written. And then it has the sigil at the bottom there. Now, let me just go over a few different parts of that. So, he appeareth as a small horse or ass, donkey. He teacheth all liberal sciences. Now that would be creative sciences, creative arts, whether that is writing, painting, sculpting, any kind of art, basically. He's a great teacher and educator in that field. Now, the necromancy aspect that is mentioned, I don't really agree with the sin part that is mentioned, that it allows you to communicate with people that have died in sin. But I do agree that allowing and helping you communicate with spirits of people that have passed. Now, one, I think, very individual aspect to this spirit is not the art of necromancy, where it allows you to communicate with the dead, and that is usually for knowledge, advice, connection to ancestry, etc. I believe that this spirit is probably, in fact, no, I'll say absolutely the best spirit to work with in terms of grief. If you have lost a loved one, someone that you care about, a partner, a relative, etc., This spirit is really, really good at not just helping you with that connection, but also bringing that peace that you may need, and to also work through that grief, that period of grief that we all unfortunately have to go through, and is very very challenging, very difficult. This spirit can absolutely help you with that. So it isn't just about contacting the dead, the sort of standard form of necromancy. It's something a bit more, a bit deeper and a bit more sort of holistic, and helping you go through those difficult processes. Now, that's not to say that normal necromancy isn't one of the strong points as well, and one of the reasons why you would work with this spirit. For that, I would recommend a scrying bowl, very specifically a scrying bowl or a black mirror. I think those are the two sort of must-haves if you want to work in that way with this spirit. Another sort of strange and obviously a more modern aspect to people's experiences of working with him is EVP. So if you have some kind of digital recording device and you wish to ask questions and then play it back, and you'll be able to hopefully hear some of the answers coming through on that recorded device. Look up EVP if you're not sure what it is. That obviously was not available, particularly during the Solomonic times, or even up until sort of the last few decades, I guess. So that is sort of a very new addition to working with the spirit, but it's absolutely recommended. Do an EVP session, and that will hopefully bring the rewards that you are wanting. Another really interesting aspect of working with him is that he is very, very good in what we call draconic magic, so serpent magic, and that would be especially good if you were doing any kind of Kundalini work. I would absolutely strongly recommend building a relationship and developing to the point of being able to put yourself into those really deep trances with this spirit. Kundalini work is sort of an important aspect, but often overlooked. But I would highly recommend it with this spirit in particular. He's also really, really good at business and the art of negotiation in particular, and can really help with legal complex documents and legal jargon, if you want to call it that sort of really complex lawyer speak, if you want to call it that, and legal documents that I consider myself a normal person, that normal people kind of skim through and don't really understand them. He can really, really help with those as well. Another often sort of overlooked aspect, and a bit of a strange one, is that he can help with manipulation of tongue. So what that means in basic terms is will assist you with the ability to deceive and manipulate a large amount of people, and very importantly, allow you and help you with not feeling guilty for doing that. So why would somebody want to do that? Well, I guess that would be maybe a business person, but probably something like a politician, somebody that maybe has to make a large group of people do difficult things that aren't good on the surface but are overall beneficial. So that could be, somebody senior within the army, for example. It's a very odd skill, but it comes up time and time again with this spirit. I don't judge, but that is one of the aspects that he can help you with. So just to sort of finally mention, and it kind of ties into the liberal arts thing, but he can also assist with Art is, when it's done correctly, is a very sort of spiritual practice, I believe. Whatever, form that takes. And this spirit can really sort of help you, or help, the magician, the person that's working with them, to really connect with their higher self. So I just thought I'd share that sort of minor but important aspect as well. Okay, that is Gamigin. I think I've covered everything that I know about this spirit in as much detail as I think is relevant. Next time we'll be looking at one of my absolute favourite spirits that I've ever worked with, and that's Marbas, the fifth spirit of the Goetia. So I will see you then.